Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. My name is Major Brian DeSantis. I'm the Public Affairs Officer of the 75th Ranger Regiment. And of course, today we have with us Sergeant First Class Leroy Petry. Sergeant First Class Petry was awarded the Medal of Honor on 12 July 2011 in a ceremony at the White House. Sergeant First Class Petry is the second living Medal of Honor recipient since the Vietnam War and the first member of the 75th Ranger Regiment to receive this honor. Sergeant First Class Petry is not going to make any opening remarks. We're going to get straight to your questions. I just ask if you have a question, please raise your hand. And for Sergeant Petry's benefit, please give your name and the name of your organization. If you have a follow-up, raise your hand. I'll give you one follow-up question. And we'll do this for approximately 45 minutes or until there are no more questions. So with that, Medal of Honor recipient, Sergeant First Class Leroy Petry, and I'll start with the Associated Press.
Sergeant Petry, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
My name is Gene Johnson. I'm a reporter with the Associated Press in Seattle. And I'd just like to ask, first off, what has this week, or the past week, been like for you? If you could just describe that, and also just tell us a little bit about what you do with the care program that you work at now, and how, if at all, do you expect this experience to change your perspective on how you work with those soldiers?
There's a lot of questions all in one, but that's okay. This whole week has been great. Got to see a lot of my family and friends who I haven't seen in a while, as well as a lot of my heroes. It's been great for the family. We've seen quite a bit. Last few days in New York, visiting the World Trade Center was really impacting for me, and seeing the progress and learning about the developments over there, as well as the service members in uniform, the fire departments, and numerous police stations that we visited that was highlights for me, as well as seeing a lot of historical monuments, and family's been enjoying it and sharing the message and seeing service members, and it's all been great. It's been fast, but it's enjoyable. As for right now, on a little hiatus, I got another guy taking my place, working with the SOCOM Care Coalition. Just kind of a liaison, mentoring, providing a little bit of leadership, so to speak, and companionship for those wounded, ill, and injured, not only service members, but also family members as well of special operations, including Rangers, SEALs, the Air Force Special Operations, the Army Aviations, Rangers, all the special operations community. It's rewarding seeing them go through recovery, having gone through it, and knowing the great care that I received going through it. It's a way of giving back, although not in the firefights or in the front lines direct. Helping those coming back is very rewarding, and still my way of contributing to the services.
Go ahead.
I was just wanting to follow up on that. Could you maybe, even if you don't feel comfortable sharing some particular names, share some particular types of, share some of the soldiers or family members that you've helped and what their circumstances have been and what you've done, just to get a little better sense of your work, because we're really...
There's so many stories out there. I mean, I could spend an entire week, month talking about all the people I've interacted with, and not only helping them, but a lot of them helped me mentally going through the recovery process myself. It's the soldier brotherhood, where a little bit of competition and pushing each other to get better and trying to outdo the next person. And there's a lot more severe injuries out there where you feel humbled that you got dealt the hand you got dealt, but to see their bright attitude and their resiliency and all those service members recovering is just phenomenal. One in particular that kind of sticks out in my mind was a Special Forces soldier. Was one of the first I was kind of job shadowing another liaison coming into the job up here, and he had been shot through both his thighs, and his family had drove in about halfway across the country, and we all met up in the emergency room. He was back doing x-rays and all sorts of stuff, so I was kind of the first person that they saw at the emergency room, and we talked about it, and I said, well, coincidence is I got shot through both my thighs around the same area. Although I didn't have a broken femur in one of my thighs, I could kind of feel the same area where he did, and they were kind of little hysterical, as anyone could be expected to be with their loved ones sitting there injured, and you're not knowing how bad or haven't seen their face, and they're going, you know, you're in the same building, and a lot of anxiety. And I tried to just talking with them, and at the end of later on that evening, they came up and they said, you know what, seeing you really helped us, knowing that, and seeing him knowing that it's just going to take time, and he's getting the best care in the world provided to him, and we know he's going to recover strong. So that right there was, for me, was huge. I said anything I could do to help out, and taking care of the families coming bedside as well is equally important. Making sure they have places to stay, they got transportation, food, everything, everything they need, because they sacrifice just as much, the immediate families and extended families.
That's all out of Madigan, just to clarify.
Yes, I'm a liaison for Fort Lewis-McChord, or Joint Base Lewis-McChord, as it is now.
You deployed recently. When you deployed, are you doing that kind of role, or do you have a different?
No. When I deployed, I had a role of, we were doing part of a study for, we were losing a lot of staff sergeants getting out of the military, and I was going, kind of helping partake in a study and visit the troops, and a lot of Rangers, first from our other fellow Ranger battalion that was deployed at the time. And I think it was a great opportunity for me, having not been back to combat theater for almost 3 years. And I went around and talked to a lot of the soldiers, and a couple re-enlisted. I was able to hold their flag at the re-enlistment ceremonies overseas, so that was joyous for me as well. And at the end of the rotation, the colonel, RCO, regimental commander, and the regimental sergeant major came up to me and said, thank you for, you've definitely inspired a lot of these young Rangers over here and older Rangers. And I said, you know, who benefited the most from this trip was probably me. It was healing for me, and they were able to get me out on a mission. So for the past couple of years, seeing helicopters flying around Fort Lewis and wanting to get back on them and get back out there with the guys, it was just really great.
Is that something you want to do again?
Yes, actually, I've been busy, but that's part of my intent, is to let my higher command at Ranger Regiment know that I'd like to go see the guys again out in Afghanistan later this winter. If I know they probably aren't going to let me into the front lines again, but if so, great. But no worries. The hard part was on my wife. We went back and forth about my last deployment. She said, "Why would you want to go back there? You're already missing an arm. You chopped through both your legs. Why would you want to risk it again?" And we went back and forth, and I said, at the end of the day, I don't risk any more than any other service member over there. There's people with bigger families and just as much in their lives, and they risk it every day. And so she said, I know that's what's important to you. Go be with your Rangers. Just, I will say some prayers for you, and don't tell us any of the bad stuff. So, and it was great for me. I got to, having been there, that was my 6th time, having been there since 2002. And that was one of the things that kept me going back, was I love seeing all the roads being built, the schools, the communities. When I first went there, thinking, oh my gosh, this is a third world country. I've been to Mexico, and this is worse. And to see all the developments, the highways being built, the support of the community coming out when you're going on missions or just around the base is just phenomenal. So it's something that kept me going back there, as well as seeing the guys.